Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about 3 lesson ideas for Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. I want to thank you so much for clicking on this video. I know in May we are so tired. Teacher tired is like a whole nother level right now, and the last thing you want to do is really use that brain muscle and learning a new lesson. But I think it's so incredibly important, especially right now with the uptick in Asian hate, and really making sure that we're making a point in our classroom to celebrate the culture from Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. So let's get into the lesson ideas. First up, I have for you a stick game from the Maori people. So the Maori people is an indigenous group from New Zealand, and they're known to be very fierce warriors. And because of this, they did a stick game that has gone throughout the years and has become kind of part of the culture and a game that you play with others. And it was really to help with hand-eye coordination. If you're, being a warrior, you have to have that really good hand-eye coordination. And so I show first up a video from this Maori people's cultural center, and they show an example of, all the intricate throws and tosses and things that you can do in this game. And then after that, I will get out my rhythm sticks. At home, I have highlighters. I really need to invest in some classroom instruments that I have at home that are my own, so I can stop showing you with pens and pencils and things. But I first start off with a kind of more simplified stick game. So what we'll do is there's 3 sections. There's an A section, a B section, and a C section. So after we show the video, we talk about the history of the Maori people, then everyone gets their 2 rhythm sticks and we try out the kind of more approachable version first. And I talk about how there is going to be level 2. We are going to get to that tossing because they get really excited about all the tosses and flips and things that they see in the video, but we're going to work our way up to that. So the first version is we have our A section. So our A section is just going to be down, and this you guys, this is my imaginary floor. So it's gonna be down, tap, tap, down, tap, tap, down, tap, tap. It's in 3. Okay, that's the A section. That's kind of our home base. Then we have the B section. You're gonna go side to side, so it's gonna be side, tap, up, side, tap, up, side, tap, up. And when I go here, I'm tapping the top of my rhythm sticks on the ground. Side, tap, up, side, tap, up. Okay, so that's the B section. And then C is where you are gonna need that partner, and you're going to face that partner. You're gonna go down, tap, right, and you would tap your right rhythm sticks together. Down, tap, left, down, tap, right, down, tap, left. So we're working on all of those movements together. No one's partnered up yet. They're facing me, and we practice that. Then I say, okay, now it's time to partner up. A stays the same, but you're just facing your partner. B stays the same, but you're facing your partner. But C is where you are gonna get that partner interaction with tapping each other's rhythm sticks. So then I give them time to practice with their partner. And then we come together and I say, okay, now that you have all those 3 different parts, let's talk about the actual form, the actual pattern of the music. So I use this version, and again, it will be in that blog post for you guys. I use a version that goes A, B, A, C, A. So it's pretty much rondo form. And so we will do the easy version. And then after that, I say, okay, now it's time. And you guys, we're not successful in this section. Obviously, we take a lot of practice and a lot of hand-eye coordination. But there are some moments where people are successful, and I think it's still a really good experience. There's always a few pairs that I'm like, okay, wow, amazing. But it's not always the most successful thing, but that's okay. So what we're gonna do is the A section is gonna stay the same. Floor, tap, tap, floor, tap, tap, floor, tap, tap. That's the same. That's again like our home base. But now B is gonna be side, down, then you flip. See, I dropped and I even have them, it's an interesting experience sitting on my couch trying to do this, but I always try and say, okay, let's just do a half flip. Like it's like a 180. It's not like a huge, because when I have kids that's trying to flip them like crazy. So just a little flip, a half flip. And I have them practice just that first. Nope. And it's harder for me. It's not more easy to like do it down here. but trying to be in the shot here for you guys. So the flip, so it's side, down, flip, side, down, flip, side, down, flip. Okay, and obviously, I mean, as an adult, struggles a little bit with it. That's the B section. Now I have them practice it, because as soon as they see it, they want to practice. So I'm like, I'll hold off for another part, I'll wait, I'll let them have some time to practice. And I say, okay, awesome, I ring my bell, I say, come back together, here's the next step. So now, I want you to now do, for C, floor tap is the same, but now you're tossing your right stick to the other person at the same time they're tossing their right stick to you, and you are going to have to catch each other's at the same time. And this is where it's not so successful, but it's fun to have the experience and try it out. We talk about really making sure it's vertical so the person has something to really catch on. We talk about having a nice arch for that student, kind of tossing it up a little bit so it gives them more time to try and catch it. And we also talk about, you know, making sure when you're tossing it, if you just toss it both in the middle, they're just gonna clash and you're not gonna be able to do it. So having a pathway, I mean, that person takes the inside, the other person takes the outside, and then when you cross, the same thing there. So I give them time to practice, and then we put it together, and it's usually a big mess. And the kids realize how hard it is and how much practice it takes, but they still have a lot of fun with it, and it's just such a cool stick game. So that is the Maori stick game. Tanko Bushi is a folk dance from Japan. It is inspired by a coal mining town, and so a lot of the movements that you're going to see are inspired by like what you would do as a coal miner. And so the first step, I would talk about that again, that kind of that background information. I would show an authentic version of the dance, and so I found a YouTube video again that will be in that blog post for you guys that I show them. We talk about, and when they watch it the first time through, I won't tell them exactly, you know, what each move is supposed to mean. And I say, hey, could you figure out by what movements they were doing, what were they doing in the coal mine? And they have ones where they look like they're shoveling. They have ones where they're putting it over their shoulder. You know, they have one where they're like wiping off the sweat off their brow. And so I just see if they can pinpoint any of those movements at first. And then after that, we have a discussion. And then I have a series of pictures that help them out to remember the different movements. And I have actually on my Instagram have posted this folk dance, so I will put it in here so you guys can see kind of the various movements full body. It's a little bit hard to show you guys right now, but essentially you have two shoveling moves. And so once we watch the video, I just kind of go through in a scattered formation. We learn all the moves. We have over our shoulder, we have this, like you're trying to block the sun or the sweat off your brow. You have two pushes, you have kind of a laying it flat, and then you have a clap, 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 clap. And so that is going to be in a formation, a circle. And again, I'm going to put that video for you guys over top of this that will help explain that more. And there's many great YouTube video tutorials out there that break it down for you. So then after we kind of learn those various moves and we see those pictures to make that connection, what I also like to do is I found this version of the song that is kind of a modern twist on it. So this group is called the Minyo Crusaders, and they are a Japanese-based band, and they take, you know, really traditional folk songs and do a modern twist on them with more of a kind of a Latin American, African rhythm, kind of different twist. I was reading on their bio that they take some inspiration, so they kind of fuse a different genre of music into this folk song from Japan and kind of make it into this modern twist. So I found that version of Tanko Bushi and I loved it. It is so fun. And so that's the version that I do with my students. I use that music and we put the dance together. So that is Tanko Bushi. It's been really fun. It really could be for kindergarten all the way up to 6th grade. My last lesson for you is talking about Tanikling. So Tanikling is so fun. It's from the Philippines. It's essentially a folk dance where you have two students or two, dancers that are going to be tapping bamboo poles in a pattern on the ground. And then you have two dancers that dance and jump in between them. And there's all these different moves that you can do. And so I have taught it throughout the years. And I want to first just talk about equipment because sometimes people can see it. It's so incredibly cool. And I show the video to my kids and always they're like, whoa, wow, this is amazing. But always the part that is a little bit challenging about it is just what equipment do you use? Because we don't have access to these big bamboo poles as much in the United States. So what I have used in the past, I've used PVC pipe. I've used like, I think a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, so kind of skinnier PVC pipe. I've used thicker, like 1 inch PVC in diameter PVC? I think that's right, pipe. I've used jump bands, and I've used just like yarn. So I have used quite a few different things. I would say 1 inch, like that thick PVC pipe, works really, really well as our bamboo poles that we tap on the ground. The only thing with that is if you have a class that has a tendency, maybe a little more rambunctious and maybe mess people up on purpose, people could get hurt easily. And so I have to be really on that with students like that, you know, stopping it right away. The other thing, or could just be, you know, we're trying our best, but our coordination, we're not quite there yet, and kids can get their feet kind of tapped with the PVC pipe, and it's just, you know, it's not going to really, really hurt us, but it kind of hurt. So I have been thinking this year, I'm gonna try to straight up pole noodles. That is what I'm going to use. You don't get as much of that percussive sound, and the big thing about tapping the bamboo poles is you really get that feel of 3, and so it helps by hearing it. But with the pole noodle, I think it'll be less intimidating for my students, and I still think we can kind of hear that smack of the pole noodle on the floor, that I think it'll probably work. We'll see, fingers crossed, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, so Tanikling, the first step is just talking about, again, what it is. We really want to make sure we're understanding where it's coming from in the culture. And so in the Philippines, I guess it's about, on rice farms, there's this tickling bird, and it, you know, likes to eat the rice, it likes to eat the crops. And so the farmers would make these bamboo traps, and the tickling bird was just so good at just like weaving its way out of them and not getting caught. And that's how the dance kind of came about. And so after we go through some of that and background information, we watch video, we get super excited about it. Then the first step is I start with the tapping or the clicking of the bamboo poles. So we practice, and a big thing could be some body percussion, putting on some of the music, and just feeling that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And so for the tapping, it is out, out, in, out, out, in, out, out, in, out, out, in. So practicing that with the music. Maybe we are just going pat, clap, or pat, pat, clap, pat, pat, clap, pat, pat, clap, pat, pat, clap. Or, you know, various different body percussions to just may help us feel that. And what we're going to be doing with the bamboo poles or pole noodles. Then what we'll do is we will go around. I will get everybody will be in lines ready to practice, and we will practice that on the ground. And with no dancing, nothing yet, we're just practicing getting that feeling of the beat, because if that's not right, no matter what the dancers do, it will not work out, right? That's really important, so getting that foundation. So that's kind of day 1. I split it into 2 lessons. And even more, I've done projects with it and things like that. But for this year, I think I'm just going to do 2 lessons, just to kind of an introduction to Tanikling. And then next year, I will dive more into it. I just think with the COVID and things this year that we didn't get to do it as much. So that will be the first day, just learning to tap. The second day, I'll have all of the poles out vertically, and I will get the kids into groups, and then I will demonstrate our very first move. And our very first move is just going to be, so say these are my 2 feet, and the poles are right here. I'm going to tap my foot in, up, in, up, and I'm just balancing on my foot on the other side. And I will put an overlay of what the move looks like for you guys, because it's very difficult just to be like, this is it, imagine this. So we first learned that, just the in, up, in, up, in, up, in, up. Then we learn the second move, which is kind of like the staple move. It seems to be one that is used quite a lot, and it's in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And then finally, we also learn the jump, jump, out, jump, jump, out, jump, jump, out, jump, jump, out. So we'll learn those and just have fun with it. And then I'll take the easiest one, the in and up. And that's when we'll try and start to put it together. And if that's successful and the group can handle it, then I'll go on to the second jump and the third jump. But it really depends on the group if they're ready for it, / if they can handle it. And so another thing that you could do extension is then be like, okay, let's create our own dance. So now that we have our 3 moves, let's, say we're gonna do 4 in ups. And then we're gonna do 4 basic, jumps. And then we're gonna do this. And so it's fun to like create that dance, put it to music, and you just have such a fun time doing some tinikling. All right, guys, that is it for this lesson. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. I will have one more video coming out for you guys. It'll be all about end of the year, really simple, easy, quick games that you can play with your students. And then I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break, a little summer break, about 2 weeks off, and then I will be back in action. All right, guys, catch you later. Bye.